Good morning, everybody. Hey, Ann. Hey, Jean. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Mom and Beth and Martin and Ann and Dina. Hey, Trisha. Good morning all around. Hey, Karen and Cindy. It is also Monsoon Monday in Chicago, hence the fact that I'm working from home today. Hey, Lenora. Hey, Luann. Hey, Susan and Kristen. Hey, Mona and Grace. Timothy.
Benny Goodman, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the torrid clarinet and
Hey,
even
Jay
more
and
torrid
Kathleen.
band who pervades
Hey, Robert over on YouTube. Usually I don't get to do the morning tours on YouTube and stuff because I'm usually out mobile. Hey, Cynthia, Carrie, Toby, Susan. Hey, Augustine, Christine, and Bob. Hey, Lisa, Boker Tov. Boker Raya outside, really. Or Boker Ra. Octavio, hey, Rodney. Hey, Elaine and Carol and Becky and Lynn. Hey, Nancy in Denver. Hey, Paula. Now, it is raining like 8 witches on a witch boat that was only built to accommodate 6 witches outside. Not to mention an awful lot of wind. There's some down branches and stuff, so I thought I would just work from home today. Hey, Casey. Hey, Betsy. Hey, Marie. Hey, Laurie. Plus, I went traipsing in the rain yesterday. About 2/3 of the people who would sign up for the 1 o'clock tour had something suddenly come up or say, hey, how come my ticket for the 31st magically says the 24th now? I should be on the 31st. Okay, sure, whatever. Hey, Larry. Hey, Diane. Hey, Joanne, Julianne, Lori, and Patty. I actually like this weather, but it's no good for broadcasting. Hey, Grandma Belle. Hey, Scott. Awesome, Susan. I did enough work in the rain yesterday. I should, It's not so much the rain as the wind today. Hey, everybody. Lynn, I'd say that the sound seems to be working for most people, but you can't hear me. So, hey, Rebecca. Morning, Cindy. Merry Monsoon Mural Monday Mysterians. I like it. Kathy, I had, I think, 9 people on the afternoon tour yesterday. About 1/3 of the people who had signed up initially. Lake was pretty wild as I drove home yesterday. I took the long way to go pick up the new Beatles book that transcribes all their conversations in the new Get Back movie, which is really fascinating. They argue about lunch a lot. And they also speculate if they're going to play a live show, which songs will they do, I'm such a nerd for that kind of stuff. I love like playing what if the Beatles had played at Woodstock? What if they had gone on tour in late '69? What songs would they have played? And I love that I get some clues out of this. I mean, it's a game of what if. It wouldn't have really happened, but... We should be okay rain-wise for the rest of the week, I think. Morning, Carol in California. Like I should be talking old-timey. Hey, mister, a guy buy a newspaper? Here, I got this Playmobil newspaper. Susan, there's a great line in it where Paul says something like, this will all be so comical in 50 years. People say, oh, they broke up because Yoko sat on a lamp. Jan, I haven't added the 31st onto the Facebook events yet. It's been selling enough just on MysteriousChicago.com. I think the 1 o'clock next week is sold out. But I'll add the 10 o'clock pretty soon. Today I've been working on a whole bunch of stuff for Patreon and things. Getting ahead of that. The new Beatles book is called Get Back. It's a big coffee table book to accompany the new movie coming out. And I'll just read about any Beatles book that comes out. Now, Kendra, John Lennon, by both nature and nurture, was an awful person. He tried really, really hard not to be. But alright, I'm going to put down the Benny. Now, Susan, have fun at Hull House. I never had any problems in Hull House. You know, people who worked there for 60 years saw something once. I say I love you dearly, for I am yours sincerely, with all my heart. All right, so welcome to a work from home Mural Monday, everybody. It is raining like crazy and windy as all get out tomorrow. I'm drinking some tom yum soup that is excellent for my throat. Discovered this over at this place called Spicier Thai Food. Which kind of freaked me out because it's spicy enough, isn't it? But you can actually specify your spice level in it. There's questions about Rose Hill tours in November, possibly. Possibly I'll do one in November. I told them I would knock it off after this week, but I've had enough requests. Maybe I'll do the first or second weekend in November. That's around the time when we're going to have the leaves probably at their peak anyway. So, normally I figured at the end of October I would knock off the in-person stuff, but getting enough requests we can expand on a little bit. But alright, so today, normally on Mural Monday, I go out and look at a mural. Today is not one of those days. It's just too nasty outside, so I thought I would just talk about an artist that I absolutely adore that I had never even heard of. Even going through, an art focus in high school and everything. I took a school group to the Museum of Modern Art in New York a couple of years ago, and we went into a whole room that they've got there that is full of art by Giorgio De Kirico. I walked in just as they were working with a kids group there. And she was reading a quote from De Kirico that went, "It is important for an artist to see everything in the world as a mystery, to live as though you live the whole world were a museum of strange things." And I just thought that was the greatest quote I had ever heard in my whole entire life. And as soon as the kids group had moved, she gave me her notes on it so I could remember that one. First of all, here's the painting that they were showing off here. This is typical of De Kirico's style. De Kirico worked throughout the 20th century. His most notable stuff were his artworks from the 1910s, which were considered metaphysical works, which kind of predated surrealism, but had a heavy influence on the surrealism that followed in the next decade. They're just bizarre little dream paintings. This one is called The Enigma of a Day. Look at this. We've got this statue, a couple of smokestacks. These are things that you see in a lot of De Kirico things. These doorways like this, doorways to nowhere, mysterious chimneys and smokestacks, long abandoned statues, then often just a couple of figures off in the distance. And I was so overwhelmed by this room full of paintings. And I know it's kind of bizarre, but I had to leave the room a couple of times because I was just so overwhelmed by everything. These paintings reminded me of like exactly what I picture with a couple of Bob Dylan songs in particular. Like for instance, this is called the Red Tower. This could be the Watchtower, with all along the Watchtower where the princes keep the view and all the women come and go, barefoot servants too. Only now it's largely abandoned, except that you can tell that this was once a heavy city center. There used to be this statue here and everything. There are these doorways to nowhere that you see in so many De Kirico paintings. That one was called the Red Tower. This was called, what is called Adriadne. And we see a lot of the same stuff, kind of a lighthouse, train coming into the distance. There are often trains in the background, just kind of randomly appearing in De Kirico works. We've also got this statue lying there. There's often statues, and I love this kind of statue where they've got like a veil or a cloth over it. That always looks terrific. And the interesting, fun use of perspective on all of the paintings there. Honestly, the stuff at the top on the right-hand side here reminds me of the kind of stuff I would have drawn up in the margins of notebook paper while I was doodling in class. So it is called Melancholy and the Mystery of the Street, where we see that again used to even a better effect with this mysterious-looking shadowy figure rolling a hoop. We've also got what appears like it could be an old circus wagon or an empty horse wagon. And she's kind of rolling this hoop up towards an uncertain space, but there's something going on up there. You can see that there's the shadows coming in. And what looks like it used to be a really long place. You know what this actually reminds me of is walking through the Iowa State Fairgrounds at times when the fair isn't going on. This is about what it looks like there. So one of them they had in person at the MoMA called Serenity of a Scholar. And this one, it's a weird shape. You can see it's shaped kind of like a trapezoid. It's a painting in the same shape as the Hancock building. And also these blocks that look like they can kind of be books. The John Lennon-style glasses right there are a nice touch. And then a couple of his go-tos, mysterious smokestacks off in the background and just a hint of a shadow in the foreground. You gotta have to fill in the rest of this and kind of guess if he's trying to just make something that looks cool or if he's trying to symbolize something. Now, when I send somebody an invoice, that my paper template, my invoice template, the logo at the top isn't Mysterious Chicago. It's actually this painting. This is called The Song of Love by Giorgio De Kirico. And again, it seems like just random objects. A statue head. Maybe this is one of the missing statue heads from the headless statues at Graceland Cemetery, in fact. Then a glove and a ball. You know, there's so many things, you know, if we go through a love affair or something, or we go through a certain period of our life, there's always these little objects that end up having so much meaning to us. Like maybe just a glove, maybe just a ball. There's a terrific book out right now by Warren Ellis, who is best known as a sideman for Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. He has a book called Nina Simone's Gum. After a Nina Simone concert, in 1999, he took the gum that she had put underneath the piano and kept it. And, you know, these little tiny objects that just become totems to us. This is called The Objects of the Evil King, or something like that. Once again, it's like little things, but there's something sinister about this one. It almost looks like a missile about to be launched. It's from 1914 and 15, so it would be kind of early to have an actual missile. And kind of a similar theme in Objects of a Young Girl. And I like this. There's this tower in the background, almost like the Reed Murdoch building. Another glove pinned to a wall. And other just objects of a young girl. I don't really know what Ferraris is there in the box. A couple of spools of thread. But a lot of these, I felt like I was walking around inside of a Bob Dylan painting. In particular, that first one, The Enigma of a Day. It reminds me of I and I. And not just because the smokestacks look like the title, I and I. It's like this line, outside two men on a platform waiting, there's no train in sight. They're waiting for spring to come smoking down the crack. The world could come to an end tonight, but that's all right. She should still be there sleeping when I get back. It's weird because I've been hearing that song for years. This is almost exactly the kind of landscape that I pictured. Almost exactly the kind of scene. The two men sitting out there near the train tracks, but there ain't no train in sight. Waiting for spring to come, smoking down the tracks. All right, so that, everybody, is the artwork of Giorgio De Kirico, as seen at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, where he's got a whole room to himself. There's no books about him in the MoMA bookstore. There's only one book on him that really covers that period, and it was just published in conjunction with an art gallery exhibit, and now goes for big bucks online. It's really hard to get a good book on Giorgio De Kirico. You never see prints about the guy. He's not that well known overall, but he has an entire room to himself at MoMA. So and that was just something that kind of overwhelmed me. This is kind of a different way of doing Mural Monday today. None of these are actually murals, but you can imagine a lot of these landscapes. Somebody could have painted a mural and considerably livened up the scene, honestly. But everybody, thanks a lot for joining me for this quick work from home Mural Monday. We'll be back out in the field tomorrow, I hope. And a lot of good stuff coming up. Thursday night is Time Travel Pub Crawl Halloween Special. The videos and music for that are coming in. It's going to be really terrific. Friday night is a ghost tour, Saturday night is a ghost tour, and Sunday, October 31st, is Graceland Cemetery. I think the 1 o'clock is sold out, but there's still tickets for the 10 o'clock. So if you just go to MysteriousChicago.com, that'll hit everything out. So thanks for joining me on this nasty, wonderful day outside. And thanks a lot for having me. I'm Adam Seltzer from Mysterious Chicago Tour, saying stay safe, stay strong, and of course, stay dry. Stay from being blown all the way to Oz. And stay spooky, everybody.